All this Polo Cup action is proudly brought to you by Engen Primax Unleaded, Volkswagen Motorsport, Polo, and Dunlop Tires. Welcome to round 3 of the Engen Polo Cup action here at the East London Grand Prix circuit. And as you can see in the background, windy conditions here today, going to make it very, very interesting. This is the first time that these Polo GTIs have made their way down to the Eastern Cape circuit. And of course, this is the fastest track in the country. And behind me, and these beautiful Dunlop girls, is the fastest corner in the circuit and in the country. So Potter's Pass, you're going to have your wits about you even more here today. Let's go and find out what happened in qualifying and who is going to be the man or lady to beat this weekend. At this circuit, qualifying is crucial and you need some teammates to help you out because the slipstream effect definitely comes into play here down the big straight into Potters and here on the beach straight as well. And all of the drivers are trying to get in a couple of laps with their teammates or just someone to help them out in the qualifying session. Doc Pretorius on the sideline after a crash in practice, so he's not going to be participating this weekend. But at the front end, it's all about Campos, and he is putting in some exceptional times. King of Campos, quickest man out there, but now it's up to the Super Pole to be sorted out. Tasman Pepper leads them out, with Daniel Dermody stepping up, along with Jeff Kruger. Kruger a bit further down than what he'd like to be in that Universal and Comp Care machine. Clinton Besaid not pushing hard, but as the flag came out, it was all about Machotsi. He went quickest, so he got to do the lucky draw as well, and in the lucky draw, he pulled third. Clinton Besaid note, taking his time, but only getting to 5th place. Campos goes to 4th. And his brother Jay gets to 6. Can you believe that? He makes it a 9, in fact. Sean Larezave takes pole position. That's going to be a tough man to beat. And Jeff Kruger in 2nd. How awesome is it to get into the top 6?
It's really fantastic. My first visit to East London. A great start to the weekend. I was very chuffed with my lap. I just want to thank my sponsors, Champion and Polo, and my awesome team, Signature Motorsport, for making this weekend possible. And we're just looking forward to some good, clean racing and some positive results coming out of today.
Now at the front end, every time you've been there in the past, very difficult for anybody to beat you.
Yeah, look, East London, with the wind, it can make things very interesting. Very interesting. So with the slipstream, with the push to pass, got to think clever, got to box clever. But as you say, that car's got a very wide rear end, so let's see what happens.
You're going to need some help today. With this wind, it's going to be very difficult during the race.
Yeah, look, I'm really looking forward to it. I'd like to say that my starts are pretty good, so I'll see if I can get a gap on the inside, outside, I don't know.
Join us after the break for Race 1 action from the East London Grand Prix circuit. Welcome back to action from the Engen Polo Cup here from the East London Grand Prix circuit. And as always here in the Eastern Cape, massive crowds coming out despite the very windy and cool conditions here this morning. Larezave is the man we catch up with now with our driver profile.
From Durban, was born in Westville, currently living in Hillcrest, just outside of Durban, but moving up to Belita on the north coast. Started off with, I had Pee-wee 50s and 80s when I was little, riding around the back garden. Got given a 60cc GP Junior from my cousin when he outgrew it. Crashed into my mom's sidecar, so she wasn't too impressed with me, and then ended up at the racetrack. There's been a number of highlights. You know, one of the biggest moments for me was winning the Masters Championship, finishing 3rd in the Polos. It was a fourth in the Polos. It was a super close year. If it hadn't been for 1 or 2 unfortunate incidents along the way, it could have been a lot closer. It was a potentially championship winning year. So I think, yeah, that was 2016, I think it was. I get to work at 7 and I leave work at 5:30, so I don't really have that much time, to be honest. If I do, I try and go for a run every now and again with the wife. Otherwise, yeah, not much. So, yeah, Michael Schumacher. I've got a number, to be honest. Pakisa is one of my favorites. I had got my first win at Velkom. Unfortunately, we don't go back there, but this place is also special.
Tyre pressure is crucial. Clean windscreens are going to be very crucial as well. It's time to get ready now for race number 1. We're fired up to see who's going to be taking the overall and who's going to take the Masters here today. Engine revved up, eyes on the prize with a couple of drivers as Mahotsi from Kruger, top 2, Beside Note and Tasman Pepper, the second row. We've got Keegan Campos and Alton Bow. Nice to see the youngster up in the top 6, Jason Campos ahead of Loreserve. Delon Thompson beat out Justin Oates, Darren Oates behind his brother, and Daniel Duminy down in 12th. Piet Versaki ahead of Paulus Franken, Wouter Roos on their tail, and Cara Hill joining us once again as our second lady driver here at the East London Grand Prix circuit. A daunting task ahead as we wait for those lights to go out. It's Mahotsi on pole position. Who's going to have what it takes down towards Potters? Great start from Mahotsi. Looks like it's a clean start right through the field as well as they head down towards Potters Pass. And what a start here. Absolutely awesome stuff. We go on board here with Keegan Campos as they head towards Potters. The infamous turn 1 here at East London Grand Prix circuit. And they all file through and looks like everybody has stayed on the black stuff. Only just. That's how hard they push through there. These new GTIs go through there almost flat taps in the first corner. And of course, as they come back here for lap number 2, they're definitely going to be flat out through there. But right now, it looks like it's a great start coming out of Mahotsi. But Kruger is all over him and looking for a way through early on. Mahotsi goes around the outside. Beside Note in third place there as they come into Cochabana on board here with Loreserve. Oh, we got a little tap there from somebody from behind. Heard that little tap coming from the back, and this is how hard you have to work in the cockpit. It's Loreserve giving it everything she can, sitting currently in about third place in the Masters. But up into the complex, into gate corner for the first time, the two Campos boys are at each other's throats. Coming through there as well. Keep an eye out on a massive attack coming from the front end. And it's Tasman Pepper who's applying pressure. Kruger's lost out ever so slightly on that beat straight. He's gone down to third place behind Clinton Beside Note and looking to come back at him now as they head up towards Beacon. Late braking from Taz. Oh, great move. Tasman Pepper placed that car perfectly and dives into third place. Campos trying to go with her. You can see just how tight it is between these first 7 cars. Alton Bow right behind them as they come into the main straight to complete lap number 1. Jeff Kruger. Oh, Kruger missed a gear. Kruger's missed a gear there. That, I think, was what happened on the beach straight as well. He's missed a gear, and that's allowed Campos through. So he recovers, fortunately, to hang on to a possibility of a top 7, but it's not where Jeff Kruger wants to be. Not after the first 2 rounds of taking 4 wins out of 4 starts. He's definitely got some work to do now as they head through Potters down towards Rifle. You can see Campos and Pepper getting away, but the lead is disappearing at the front end. The only man to run with Mahotsi right now is Clinton Beside Note, and Mahotsi, incredibly, the first car to get down in the 1-minute 35s for these brand new Polo GTIs. Hard braking coming from the Seeker car there of Justin Oates as he comes up under attack from Loreserve on his outside. Oh, he gets forced wide ever so slightly by Delon Thompson. Thompson and Oates coming together there as they came out of Cochabana. They're still side by side heading towards gate. There's a move on the inside from Beside Note. Beside Note, a big look there. Not quite sure if he got through. We go through with Tasman Pepper in that Electric Life Pepper racing car, and she currently sits in third place. No, he hasn't got through. There's confirmation. Just had a look, but couldn't quite get past Jonathan Mahotsi out front. Mahotsi looking for his second victory in this category, and the first one, of course, in the brand new GTIs. Keegan Campos in the Campos Transport and Turn 1 car coming through the sweep and up the hill towards Beacon. He looks in the rearview mirror. He'll be looking out for his brother. He'll be looking out for the possibility of Delon Thompson and Oates, and also for Alton Bow. Under braking, late braking there, you can see, and late gear changes coming out. Absolutely awesome stuff. The two Oates boys now. It is the pie-in car of Darren out in front of Justin in the Seeker machine. Jonathan Mahotsi under attack from Beside Note. Oh, it's side by side. Wing mirror, mirror. Look in that right wing mirror. You can see the Glyco car. They are absolutely evenly matched. And it's, oh, who's going to have what it takes? Brilliant stuff. No roll off whatsoever out of Beside Note. You can see Mahotsi had to come out of it, and that's why he's lost a 2-3 car lengths. Beside Note was able to keep it buried through Potters, and that allowed him to pull a small margin there over Mahotsi, the pole man. And Mahotsi's fallen into the clutches of Tasman Pepper and of Campos. Jeff Kruger into the clutches of Jason Campos for the top 6. He's fallen back ever so slightly, not quite the way that Universal Comcare car normally performs. Oh, Mahotsi's using every bit of the track and a little bit more as well as he runs wide coming out of Cochabana. Tasman Pepper hanging on to the back end, trying to become the trailer on the back end of that Polo GTI. As they come up into gate corner, look in the background as well. Keep an eye on this little battle. Check this out. There's a move. Alton Bow and the two signature cars side by side. Oh, and Darren out of shape. Dazzler comes completely out of shape. They're all on his own sim, trying to go around the outside of his teammate, and I think Piet Versaki might have just gone off in sympathy there. The Engen car now under attack from Wouter Roos, who comes around his outside, trying to drive around the outside, get the inside line. Darren trying to get back on through the kart circuit and over the Supermoto line there, but he eventually gets through. Let's have a quick squiz at this. This is from Darren's point of view. He comes in, he's late on the brakes. As he went in there, of course, Delon Thompson moved across to go defensive, and it caught Darren out, and he went sliding, got the car going again, and back on track in that pie-in car. the Signature Motorsport team have got some work to do. They are off the back end of this top 8, and there's a lot of cars they've got to try and find a way through to get back to the front end. Now we go back on board with Mokotsi as they head up. Oh, looks like there might be a move there coming on. Yes, he has. He's got through on Besaidnout. Besaidnout seems to be ailing ever so slightly in the Glyco car. And that Glyco car has now gone to second place. Tasman Pepper alone third. She's pretty much all on her own. Jeff Kruger under massive attack now from 2 of the Masters. It's Tasman Pepper who leads the Masters at the moment, but the second and third place battle there is Jason Campos and Le Reserve. Alpine Motors man, the man we spoke to just before this race, of course, in our driver profile, showing us that he comes from a background of driving against plants. Yes, that's right. Crashing into cycads and now hoping not to crash into any of the foliage on the outside of the circuit. As they come under braking into Beacon Corner. Closing right up on Jeff Kruger. The Comcare car doing a super job at this stage to maintain that position, but it's not quite where he wants to be. Good recovery there from the 2 cars that went off. Darren Oates and Piet Vasaki back on track. Voterus behind them. You can see just up the road there, that looks like it might be Alton Bow who's had a little bit of issue right in the closing stage. You've got 1 to go here as they come out of Potters down towards Rifle. Flat out stuff through Rifle and now onto Cochabana breaking point. Jeff Kruger hanging on. There's a move from Le Reserve. He's got a slightly better line through there. Le Reserve might be able to get through. We're on board with his teammate now. Electric Life, Alpine Motors, Plastomark and Pepper Racing, Volkswagen Polo GTI of Tasman Pepper. And has she got what it takes to possibly squeeze out Clinton Besaidnout? I said Besaidnout looked like he might have some issues. Oh, he's got some big time. He's out of shape. Into gate corner and he runs wide. Tasman Pepper's going to make him pay. And so is Campos by the looks of things. Campos trying to come around the youngster as he looks for an opportunity. It wasn't quite there. Besaidnout able to catch that car, get back on track, and it looks like he might just keep out Campos. Only just. Wow. What a way to finish things up. Tasman Pepper having a second place gifted to her there as Besaidnout made a massive mistake coming into gate corner. Very similar to what we saw with Darren Oates. He was just able to catch it. Now under braking for the final time into Beacon. It's going to be Mbogotsi, and the Volkswagen Motorsport squad are going to be happy with this. This is the first victory in the new category for this man. It's his second victory every time in this class. As he comes across the line now, he is a very happy man, cementing that pole position and converting it into a race win. Confirmation of the results there. Mokotsi taking the win for Volkswagen Motorsport. It's Tasman Pepper in second, Besaidnout in third. Keegan Campos comes through for fourth place, beating out Jeff Kruger and Jason Campos.
Having a look to what they're doing in the background here. Take us through what's happening.
Oh, it's because it's so close during the race. I think rocks are getting thrown up and stuff, so we got a hole in the radiator. So guys are getting it fixed for race 2, and hopefully we can improve because I'm starting quite far back this time. Just get decent points and get as far up to the front as I possibly can.
So that's the first one in the bag. Wasn't easy though.
No, absolutely not. I thought I'd be able to run away, but obviously 1 or 2 small mistakes meant that there were 2 or 3 lead changes. But in the end, absolutely stoked to take the win.
One thing I want to ask you is, what's it like going down in Cochabana? Because it looks like it's very difficult to get the braking point and markers right there.
I tell you what, it actually changes every lap depending on the wind direction and the wind speed. So to be honest with you, it feels a bit like a lottery down there.
In these windy conditions, there's about 3 things that are going to be happy about today's conditions. One are the whales behind me. The other one will be Mokotsi with his first victory of the season and second of his career. And Tasman Pepper yet again top of the Masters category. Join us after the break to find out what happens in race number 2.
Welcome back to East London Grand Prix Circuit, and have a look at that. The most awesome view you can see. Massive amounts of crowd coming out here to be entertained at the Extreme Festival and the Engen Polo Cup. It's all off-track and on-track antics, but a couple of radiator issues there with some big stones being thrown up, so a couple of guys having to do some work in the interim. A couple of tweaks here and there, but let's catch up with Paulus Franken for our second driver profile.
Hometown, I'm from Gansbaai in the Western Cape. Started racing when I was quite young. Started my career in quad racing, enduros, and then rallying for a couple of years. And this is my second year on the circuit now. My highlight of my career so far is competing in the National Championship, Rally Championship, finishing second in 1600. training routine. I have a car in the Western Province which I also compete with in GTI Challenge, so try and get as much as possible exercise there, and then do as much as possible testing in Polo Cup as well. I think if I'll have to say one of my heroes would be Janelle de Villiers, or someone I look up to. Has a long way in South African motorsport, and yeah, has a really good career in motorsport. I think my favourite track would be Killarney in Cape Town. It's also seen as my home track, so yeah, I enjoy it.
So the Dunlop tyres have worked well, so has the Engen Prime Max fuel. Are these Polo GTIs now going to go at it once again at the East London Grand Prix circuit for race 2 here of the Polo Cup? A couple of smiles in between the teammates there, but there's no smiles once that red light goes off and we go racing. Have a look at this. Slow-mo of the start. Good start there, as you can see from Mokgotsi. We go back into real time, and he pulls alongside Sean Lerezve, trying to find a way through there on Jeff Kruger and Lerezve, two of his arch rivals. Oh, and Kruger's got another issue with gears there. You can see he's just battling to find gears. He drops down 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 positions into Potters. Make that 7, 8 positions as he comes alongside and tucks in behind Daniel Dermody. That's not the start that Jeff Kruger needed. The Universal Healthcare Team Redman, unfortunately not getting it all right there off the start line. A little bit of issues in the background and one of the cars running wide. I'm not quite sure who that was, but as they head down towards Cochabamba now, it's Lerezve out front. He's a very difficult man to beat from the front end of a race. Every single time he had pole position last year, he literally made it into a race win. So it's going to be up to Mokgotsi to see if he can find a way through and go for the third set of double race wins this season. As we go on board with our leader, this is Sean Lerezve in the Alpine Motors Pepper Racing Volkswagen GTI, looking out front as well as how busy he is in the cockpit. That split screen showing us exactly what happens inside the car as well as out. And in fact, as they head into gate corner, looks like he might have just lost out there to Mokgotsi. He has. Mokgotsi now leads out. Lerezve in second. It's Campos squared in third and fourth. Looks like Voteruus up ahead of a couple of cars there as well. Cara Hill being one of them, the Galax car. And then behind her is Piet Versaki in that Engen-sponsored Polo GTI. Looks like it's Jason Campos ahead of Keegan. Yes, it is. Jay ahead of Keegan coming under braking for Beacon. Behind them, it's Poseidon, and then an absolute battle royal with the youngsters of this category. Dermody going at it there with Alton Bowe side by side. Behind them, it's Delon Thompson. The two Oates brothers are in there as well. And Jeff Kruger, oh, he's got some work to do now. Really hasn't gone the way he'd planned. He had such a phenomenal start to the season, and coming to East London, we know how good he is at this circuit in previous categories and in the previous format of this racing in Engen Volkswagen Cup, now Engen Polo Cup. Germany squeezes out Alton Bowe into Potters. And behind them, Delon Thompson under big threat there. Paulus Franken having a super run here as well, just on Kruger's tail. And just behind that, it's the Seeker car of Justin Oates. Coming under braking now towards Cochabamba. Once again, it's late braking from Mokgotsi to keep out Lerezve. Campos has lost out one position there. Keegan Campos side by side as they come into Cochabamba and losing a position to Poseidon. Poseidon runs wide though. That might give Campos another run at it. Jeff Kruger trying to squeeze out Delon Thompson. Oh, he gets a little tap. Little tap there between Thompson. Thompson's giving just enough room. Or has he? How close is that? You don't get much closer than that. Kruger driving on the white line and maintaining the rules of this racing. You have to stay between the two white lines. And he managed just to do that. Now into gate. Darren Oates applying pressure onto the back end of... Oh, and giving Dermody a little tap. There's a little tap there onto the back end of Dermody. And it actually has cost him. There goes a headlight. Headlight goes flying out of the Pie-End car. And Darren Oates might have just cost himself a little bit of time because here comes Kruger. Kruger makes him pay for it. Drives around the outside through the sweep, gets past. There's the second headlight. Oh, man. The lights are out on the Pie-End car. And here's a move from Jason Campos going for second on Lerezve. Has he been able to do it? Yes, he has. Under braking into Beacon Corner. I've been looking through the field to try and find Tasman. I think Tasman got stuck with that radiator issue she had in between the two heats and didn't make it out onto the grid. Yes, there's her car. We've just passed it there in pit lane. Tasman Pepper out of this one, and that is a massive loss there for her. That means that the Masters Championship could close up ever so slightly, although Charles Wilkin isn't here at this round. So there's a very good opportunity here for Lerezve and Jason Campos, Voteruus and Piet Versaki to just close things down in the championship for the Masters. Through Potters, turn one car in turn one, ahead of the Alpine Motors machine of Lerezve and the Glyco car of Poseidon. Look at Mokgotsi though, he is disappearing at the front end and getting away from this pack rapidly. How's that slide through Rifle? Coming out of Daniel Dermody, who's made some incredible maneuvers to get up and into challenge now for 5th place. Poseidon is under big threat there, and Dermody is applying the pressure big time. We're on board with Clinton Poseidon. Look in the rearview mirrors in case we see anything coming out of that SMD group machine of Daniel Dermody's. Glyco Kaya trying to get through and find a way past, but can't quite do it just yet on Le Reserve goes defensive into gate corner. Not going to open up the door. We know that Besaidon had an issue into gate in the first heat. Hopefully he can keep it all together now in race number 2. Jeff Kruger still battling a bit there and a little bit further back than what he'd like to be, that is for sure. Look at the gap that Mokhotzi's pulled. Little in-house fight there between the two masters. Slowed them up ever so slightly. And I think now that they've come through, there's a possibility that Mokhotzi won't be caught. It's going to be a fight for third place. And Besaidon is already looking to dive on the inside for that third spot. Daniel Duminy hangs on to the back end of him. Then you've got Keegan Campos, Jeff Kruger, Delon Thompson, not too far off there, and will probably pick up any pieces if something goes wrong. Piet Versaki, second last car on track, I should say, as he comes through there in the Engen car. Here is our last car, and the Calex car of Cora Hill doing a much better job this time. It's her first time to the East London Grand Prix circuit, and always a daunting task to come here to race through Potters. Final lap as they go down through Potters now and into Rifle. Looks like Le Reserve is going to try and hang on. Can he keep out the fight coming from behind? He's going to have his wits about him and hang on for that third place. It's already second place in the bag there for Jason Campos. He's got to keep it all together. Le Reserve goes defensive down into Cochabana. Besaidon tucks in behind him, going to try and get the drive. So is Duminy. The two youngsters on the back end of one of the masters and one of our seasoned campaigners in this category. Keegan Campos, also a rookie to this class, behind these two. We're on board with Besaidon. He's got good drive out of Cochabana, and I think he might be able to outgun him. Yes, he gets through. And how's that? A little wave saying, I've got you. No, not yet, said Le Reserve. They come in there side by side, and Duminy's going to try and squeeze through as well. Daniel Duminy using a little bit of the dirt, gets alongside Sean Le Reserve. There's a little touch between the two of them as they come through there. The two Natal boys are going at it, hammer and tongs, wing mirror to wing mirror. Campos tucked in just behind them, looking for any opportunity that might arise, and Jeff Kruger also not too far off the back end. He knows if something goes wrong at the top of Beacon, there's a very good possibility he still might be able to get up onto the podium. They come up onto the braking markers. Campos comes across on Duminy, and Duminy just hangs in there and tight. Now under braking, they come up into Beacon for the final time. The flag is waiting. Duminy's on the inside, gives Le Reserve a tuck. It gives him a tap coming through. Le Reserve dives into the slipstream effect. He says, I'll get you back for that one later. Coming across the line, Mokhotzi's taking the win, but how tight is it here? Jason Campos in second. Third place though, Besaidon, Duminy, Le Reserve and Kruger all across the line within a hundredth of a second. Absolutely brilliant stuff once again from the Engen Polo Cup here at East London Grand Prix Circuit. Confirmation of the results there of race 2. Mokhotzi ahead of Campos, Besaidon and Duminy, Le Reserve, Kruger, Thompson and Keegan Campos in 8th. Championship standings. It's now Jeff Kruger with 4 points ahead of Tasman Pepper. Mokhotzi has closed in and so has Keegan Campos. Keep an eye out on Besaidon and Le Reserve.
Double D, a good weekend for you, buddy. Starting in 12th and making your way up to 4th place in that last one.
Yo, what a race. First want to say thanks to my team and thanks to Vic Maraj. It was a dice to get from 12th to 4th, and it was hard dicing with the guys in the front like Cape Town. Lots of experience, but at the end we came in 4th, so I'm happy with that.
First Masters win. It's great to be back in National Championship racing. We haven't really chatted to you the whole season, but I can see by the smile, very happy.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. Literally, I was thinking to myself, I cannot wait to speak to you, Greg. And I thought to myself, I have to wait till June to do that, you know? So, yeah, we've been away from Nationals, as you can tell. And, finally back and, in the shop in the grid for a change. So, yeah, the car's in one piece for a change. So, very ecstatic about that result.
Never mind the win. Double win, baby. That's what it's all about.
You're forgetting pole and a double win. That's how it's done. I'm absolutely stoked. That was a fantastic race. I've had a great weekend and I couldn't have asked for anything better.
Once again, the fastest track in South Africa has delivered some of the most epic racing in the Engen Polo Cup. We're sticking down in the Eastern Cape for the next round in PE, and I think we're going to see more of the same. So make sure you tune in for all the action at the next round at Aldo Scrimanti.
All this action from the Engen Polo Cup proudly brought to you by Engen Primax Unleaded, Volkswagen Motorsport, Ferodo Brakes, and Dunlop Tires.